Welcome to EdTech Speaks, a podcast bringing guests together to share their expertise and advice on navigating business and education in a technology-driven world. From entrepreneurs to vendors, higher education to corporate leaders, we'll uncover their perspective regarding the latest trends and technologies impacting your career or business. Our podcast is made possible by Downing EdTech Consulting, where people and technology connect. Hosted by Cher Downing, an experienced executive spanning a higher education and corporate career with specific focus on the EdTech industry. Dr. Downing is also an international and national presenter, author, and regular media contributor. Now here is your host, EdTech strategist, Dr. Cher Downing.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to EdTech Speaks, a podcast where we bring guests to share their expertise and advice on navigating business, education in a technology-driven world. Our goal is to provide you with options for products, services, and knowledge that can benefit you or your business.
I'm Cher Downing, your host, and I want to introduce today's guest, John Fragale, CEO of Levitate in San Francisco, California. Hi, John.
Good morning.
So excited to have you on here today because I know about your company personally, and I know the great work that all of you do. But let's start out a little bit. Our listeners are always interested in knowing how all of us achieve and get into these roles that we're in. And I think they're always surprised to find out we're not usually in the role we thought we would be 10, 20, even longer ago. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you became CEO of Levitate.
First, thanks for having me. I'm excited to do this with you guys. So I have an interesting journey. A lifetime ago, I managed nonprofit programs for a conservation corps. I lived in the San Francisco area for many years and was very happy doing that. I did know that I wanted to make a move to the for-profit world. I just thought it could have a bigger impact. And two of my oldest friends actually started a video company. And so they had another partner that was doing a lot of the actual video work. And he felt like being a business owner wasn't for him. So I got the call one day, hey, John, we need a production manager. So I was Levitate's first hire back about 2011. And so I started out as a production manager. So in that role, I would liaison between our creative team and our clients to make sure we produce great videos. That was our sort of humble beginnings. From there, I worked on production for a couple of years. We were able to grow. We brought on some other production managers. And there was an opportunity actually to move into client management. We call it repeat business. And the title was Director of Client Relations. So that was a big move for me. I had absolutely no sales background. I had never sold before in my life, but I knew our product really well. I feel like I'm personable and good with people and was able to quickly learn the ropes. So that was a pretty big move for me and one that ultimately I think worked out pretty well. I was able to move over to just servicing our clients, staying in touch with them, making sure they had everything they need, continuing to stay on their radar, and then working with them as new projects come up for them. That allowed me to really learn the sales side of the house and client management. A couple years down the road from there, I had the opportunity to move into a GM role where I was still working with a lot of our clients, but also overseeing the production side as well. That then led to me also having some oversight on the marketing side. And then about 2 years ago or so, got the offer to be Levitate's first CEO. Where I sit now, I oversee the finance, marketing, sales, and production aspects. Of course, we have team members in each of those realms, but I still talk to clients, still work with the production team to make sure we're doing great videos. Really, I think I'm really earning my keep is to help drive us to new products. New areas and ensure we are always looking at our systems and processes as things change to make sure we can be most efficient and provide the best product to our clients.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, because for our listeners, particularly those of you doing EdTech startup, it often seems like you're one person or two people who are going to just do everything for life. And as you clearly heard, there's opportunities as you grow. When you bring in the right people, it's not so much about the skill set as much as it is about the right fit, that they have the passion, that they have the interest, that they can transition the skill sets they do have and grow with your company. I think, John, you're a really good example of growing with that company. I suspect, though you weren't a salesperson, being in nonprofit land, there's a lot of client management in a different respect in the nonprofit area. And so that skill set transitioned probably faster and easier than you even realized. I often tell people that to become a good salesman isn't about making the mark, it's about working with people. Mm-hmm. That's what really gets your sales up there. So thank you for sharing that, because I think for a lot of our EdTech startups, that's a great area for them when they're just getting going.
Well, and Sharon, a quick add-on, it also speaks to networking. Now, I'm very conscious. I got really lucky. I had two buddies that started a company that needed some other good people. Everyone doesn't have that, but I think it speaks to networking and how you can really try to make your own luck. You put yourself out there enough and you get out in the world enough, and hopefully when the moment comes, and you're never going to know when the moment comes, but when the moment comes, you grab it, and then you got to earn it on elbow grease and good decision making.
That is so true. And that's a great point. One of the things we always tell startups is it's not enough to sit at home and create the best widget. You've got to get out there and you've got to find the people that aren't a new sale in the terms of having a relationship. They're people that already know you, that trust you, that believe in you, and now you've got something to add on. So I think great information for all of you that are listening today. Take that to heart, because I think this is really a success story in many, many venues. And I know for many of you that listen, you're in a startup mode. You're thinking about how you're just going to put stamps on envelopes at night and how you're going to make sales calls in the morning. There's more to it than that. You can grow horizontally as well as vertically. John, let's talk a little bit about Levitate and what are the things that you all started out doing and a timeline where you've gotten to now. Then we'll get a little bit into your new areas and obviously, as we do with everyone right now, the COVID situation and how you've had to do some pivoting there.
Sure. We saw a real need about 10 plus years ago where, let's call it .com 2.0 or whatever you want to call it, coming out of the Great Recession. There were so many great companies that had great innovative products. And yeah, they probably had a marketing department, but they did not have the in-house video capabilities that they need to produce professional marketing content to help educate people and sell the product. Levitate was first branded as Levitate Media Video for Tech. And so that's where we really got our start. And we hit the nail on the head on that one in our positioning. We were able to grab a lot of clients early on, get a lot of experience. And then years later, we realized, hey, there's a lot of other clients outside of the tech space. So we rebranded to Levitate, and we are industry agnostic. So that's really where we got our start, realizing there's a lot of need for high quality video. And we've been able to grow from there.
As you started growing and obviously recognizing that you could bring more to the table than just in one industry, what were some of the challenges that you really faced in starting to break into other areas?
Yeah, it's a good question. The biggest challenge we have is people telling us, we don't need you, we have in-house video teams. That's the biggest challenge. So we've actually developed a new enterprise support video offering to bolt on to someone's in-house team. So that's one thing we're trying to do. And then also remind companies of, hey, maybe you have an in-house team, but oftentimes they maybe don't specialize in everything. Maybe they can't be as fast and nimble as us. One of our biggest challenges is frankly competing with companies that decide to go in-house. I don't lose any sleep over other video production companies. I really don't. There's enough companies out there that need video. And we believe literally any company in the world could benefit from video. So there's a lot more companies than there are video production companies out there. We see a huge green space in the market to promote our services. I guess now in terms of challenges is aligning budget with what we do, trying to connect with companies that have mature marketing budgets where they don't have $500 to get a couple $1,000 at least. And we work really hard to connect with those companies. And I think really the key is the biggest challenge is it's consistency. Getting up every day and continuing to get better and provide clients with a white glove client experience. And then, by the way, great video. So we work really hard on that. I think one of the other challenges is just fielding a good team. We've been really, really lucky to have a lot of continuity on our team, especially on the production side of the house, where some of the people on our team, we've been working with 10 plus years and they love what we do. We love who they are. And when you have a really great team and you grow with them, it allows you to do pretty amazing things.
I totally agree with that because I have a wonderful team and thankful for them every day. I think looking at who your core group is and getting them to all understand where you want to go is key, but also listening to their ideas about their experience and their knowledge and what they're seeing, I think is so valuable. I love the fact that you constantly are looking at the white glove portion because I think we get a lot of companies that open, you're right, and there's a lot of new things out there every single day, but a lot of them are plug and play. You just really sign up with them and they do a couple things for you, but the consistency and the quality isn't there. One thing I always think of is every year people watch the Super Bowl ads and they love the Super Bowl ads. They think these are fabulous and they're shocked to find out how much they cost. Well, there's a price for that kind of quality. There's also a lot of people doing videos on TikTok and YouTube, and it's pretty clear they're doing them off of their iPhone or maybe off of their computer, but there's clearly a big difference. What do you see is the impact for video for both the company and for the end user?
Great question. For starters, we're maybe biased because we're a video company. I think video is a necessity. It's no longer a nice to have. It's like having a website. Decision makers are getting younger and more, and I read the stat recently, it's like a customer will do 80% of their research before they even talk to you. You need to have tools in your toolbox like videos, a good website. Of course, you need a sales team. Of course, you need a great product. But even to just get in the arena to start the conversation, we think that video is a necessity. For our customers, we're providing assets to take someone who has zero knowledge of your company to say 5%. Say, okay, let's fill out a form. Let's include these people in our RFP. I like to tell our clients, our video is not going to sell a product for you. It's going to grease the skids. It's going to educate and entertain and hopefully get them into your sales funnel. And then you got to have a good product, a good team to be able to bring them home. For an end customer, I think all of us use video, whether we're buying something, learning how to do something. And so video is a wonderful way so end users can consume it on their own time, when they want, however they want, on their computer, on their phone, on their tablet, whatever it is. So it's really an amazing way to educate, promote a product, and as an end user, see, hey, is this for me? Whether it's a B2C or a B2B situation.
I think you're absolutely right. We have become really, really focused on video in a variety of ways. It's really become just a norm for us. And I love your example about having a website because I can remember, and I know you can, back in the day when you would literally have a conversation about, is it time for us to have a website? Oh, that's really going out on a limb. I can remember sitting around boardroom tables having those conversations going, well, who's going to use it? Is it really worth the effort?
Yeah.
Fast forward now, you pay a fee, and in 10 minutes, you can have even just a template site up, and suddenly your shingle is out. So it is. Video, I think, is a natural progression of that. And I think it's interesting, too, that you guys work with video in a variety of ways. I think sometimes consumers think video is purely for training, or video is only sales and not training. Are there other areas that you are seeing interest in that people are using videos for?
I recently hired some sales team members, and I had like 3 of them be like, so you guys just do training videos, right? And they went right there. And so that's a great usage of video, by the way. Oh my God, if you send some trainer out, in these days, maybe it's virtual, but before COVID, you sent them out on all these trips to educate rooms of 10 people. There's a huge cost to that. You dedicate some of that money to doing it in a video. Yeah, maybe you still do some in person, but to be able to, I think training videos is a great idea. But I'll be honest, the majority of what we sell and produce for our clients is B2B sales videos, overview videos. And like I said, videos to take an end customer or a prospect, they know nothing about a company. So, okay, in a minute or 90 seconds, I know what they do. I know if they can help us. Because really when it comes down to it, and this is what I like to say to my customers, is the video's for you. But the video is really for the end customer that's going to watch it and take an action. And so that's where I think the magic in our videos are. And that's how we try to really push our clients to speak to their end audience and what their problems or what their needs might be.
No, that's great. It is funny because we do always think of training. And yet at the same time, and I'm a glutton for doing this, the coffee maker stopped working the other day. So the first thing I do is go to YouTube.
Yeah.
Now, it came with a manual. There's a downloadable PDF manual, but I went to YouTube and found someone who showed me how to fix it. And
Sure.
within an hour, I had coffee. And that's what everyone does now. So it stands to reckon that if I want to work with your company, I'm just more than likely going to go out and look at your website and see what you have posted, as opposed to picking up the phone and saying, hey, tell me about your company.
Yeah.
So I think that's valuable information for folks to think about, especially as you're budgeting. Even for startups, I know it's hard. I know it's difficult to decide where your money goes, but an investment like this is not a short-term throwaway. If you do it right, there's a real opportunity to get some shelf life out of it and to use it as you grow and you move forward. I'm going to ask you, John, talk to us a little bit about when you're working with a client, what are some of the things that you do to ensure that they do get some shelf life out of it? Or what do they do when, let's say tomorrow, Amazon decides to buy them or buy into them and suddenly they've got to be bigger than they were? So you've got to help them rebrand, so to speak.
Great question. I mean, of course, we want our clients to have the most shelf life out of their video, be as evergreen as possible. But there's some basics like, oh my God, if you have 150 clients, don't say that because you're going to have 151 hopefully in a week or two. Not putting a year in. There's really no need. Let's see. Those are some of the most obvious ones. I guess the other one is, oh my God, if you're about to rebrand or drastically change your product, you maybe pause on your video initiative till you do that. The one thing we do is we do our best to save the project files. So if someone changes their logo, changes their colors, or even their product, it's not that hard to go in and change it. I mean, we get these emails all the time. Hey, about 3 years ago, you made a video. We're now this company. And we're able to go in, swap out the logo, change the voiceover if we need. And that's a great thing with video. Like I like to say, anything is possible, especially when you have the project files. The After Effects or Premiere project files, it's like recording music. You got 16 tracks and the drums are on this track and the voice is on this track. And then you press it into an MP3 or in the video's case, an MP4 and you render it and all of it comes together. So it's hard to change at that point. So you always have to have the project files and we go back a lot and do updates. It's twofold. It's trying to be smart and build the right script so you're not going to instantly date yourself, but also know that, hey, if you pivot, that's a good business decision. We'll update your marketing assets. It's not that hard to do it, and it happens a lot.
But that is something that I know when you get with some of the smaller companies or you get with some of these one-offs, meaning you purchase a video and it's done. When they tell you it's done, that's exactly what it is. It's done. And if you want it redone, you have to pay for the whole thing going forward. It's basically just like starting over. And that's one of the beauties of Levitate is that you get that opportunity to be able to say, hey, we've grown, you helped us grow, and now we want to have you help us move it forward again. So there's always that opportunity to have that mechanism of support. And one of the things that I always tell startups is you need to surround yourself with communities of support. And that's in the technology you use, that's in the people you work with, it's in the network that believes in you. But you don't want to wake up one day and say, wow, we need to change our logo, and we don't even know where to begin. We want to be able to reach out and say, hey, remember us from 3 years ago? That's the kind of relationship that is so important in these kinds of things. Tell us a little bit about what COVID has done for you guys. Good, bad, and different.
Yeah, we are still selling videos. People still want to talk to us. We are expanding our business. I think we've done pretty well to weather the storm. I mean, it's heartbreaking looking at the bars, the restaurants, the entertainment industry. I mean, we are luckily in a much stronger position than any of those companies. But it's changed a lot. We had a number of large live shoots that had to pause for a while that we're then now doing. We had, some companies are like, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. But that's the minority. I mean, for instance, we brought in our most new clients last month on record. So we've continued to grow. We've pivoted where we can. The one thing that we've done is we've launched a remote filming offering. When typically we would come and do a testimonial shoot, for instance, we'd develop the story arc, develop the interview questions, plan out the live shoot, come on site with our team for a day or two, record everything. We're able to now have a remote filming through a participant's web camera and audio to record more simple testimonial stuff. No, we could never do a highly engaging live video, but we could do something like we're doing right now, where we're talking to each other That's one thing we've done to pivot. The great thing is more than half our business is animated. So that's all done online. We don't need to be in person or on site for any of those. Of course, it's great to meet our clients in person, and we'd love to when we can. But a lot of our business doesn't require any in-person stuff. We've also been 100% remote since day one. So we were way ahead of the curve. In fact, I'll be honest, we were almost embarrassed about it 10 years ago. We had like a WeWork style thing before WeWork where I could go meet someone in person at an office, but we were remote since day one. We never had those brick and mortar costs. So that helped us as well.
I think you make some really good points in there. The fact that sometimes I think we feel like we have to have brick and mortar. We feel like someone has to see us in order for us to be real, for our business to exist. And it's less so now because of things like WeWorks and remote working and all. But back in the day, if you really wanted to be someone, you literally needed to have a shingle hanging out, and preferably not on your front door.
Yes.
A real space somewhere, no matter how tiny or how in a weird location, but just that you had that space. And I think what we're seeing now too is a lot of people are backing into remote and deciding it's not so bad. They're actually seeing some increase in productivity. They're actually seeing some cost savings for their business. I know you guys are working on a couple of new offerings and things that are going on. And so my thought is for some of you out there that are rethinking your physical locations or rethinking about maybe you were going to get a physical location and now aren't, rechanneling your money into some of these things is a real opportunity right now on both sides, both for the end user and for the new offerings that you're giving, John. So do you want to talk a little bit about some of the new things you have on board?
Yeah, and I mentioned the remote filming is something that we developed. One of our founders had a really smart idea of let's produce a really high quality video that could apply to any company. And so one of the things we landed on is every company should, in our opinion, should have a strong mission statement. It's something that anchors you, it moors you, it's the guiding light that directs you every day. So we created a really engaging mission statement video. It doesn't have a voiceover track. It is powerful, royalty-free stock images that we didn't have to go out and film, combined with really engaging on-screen text animation, ending at the end of the video with on-screen text of your mission statement fading to a logo. So we developed it once for ourselves and then went to the market. And we said, hey, we know times are tough. We want to give you a copy of this video complimentary. All we ask, you do a call with our team so you know who we are. And when the timing's right, you'll know who we are and we're able to produce a video for you. What that's done is many companies are like, oh my God, great idea. And by the way, we do need a video. And it's a perfect segue into how we can help them. Other companies that hey, we have no marketing budget, but this could really help us. Fantastic. We've produced hundreds of these videos for free. They're not free for us. I mean, the old phrase is nothing's free, but we not only wanted to help and use what we do to help companies right now during these tough times, but we want to make new connections. We're passionate about what we do, and we're not embarrassed about what we do. And so we want people to know that, hey, we're an elite video production shop. We're here when the timing's right. And by the way, let us help you. Let's start the engagement by us giving you something. And I get all these email responses. This is too good to be true. What's the catch? There's literally no catch. We literally just want to ask for a call. So you know who we are. You know the full suite of our offering. We can hear about what you're doing, what you have done, and then talk about how we can do this mission statement video for them. We're currently producing a gratitude video. How important is it to thank your customers, especially during the tough times? So we're producing one of those. We're going to produce a happy holidays video. I mean, every year we sell a couple of them, but it's like I told my team, it's like when Apple put the iPod into the iPhone. They cannibalized their iPod and stuff. But so we're gonna lose a couple deals we would have gotten, but we're gonna create a non-denominational happy holiday video because doesn't everyone want to send one of those to their clients to remind them who they are? And so we're gonna do that. And so we think that's been a really good program. Dovetailing off that, let's say they want to change some of the stock video imagery or they want to change some of the other parts. So we're able to then customize for a small amount of money, much less than if we produce the video net new. So then we've been able to generate some revenue of people that say, the free one's great, but what if I change this, this, and this? And so for pennies on the dollar that you would pay on creating a net new one, we're able to then customize a little bit more. It helps kind of fund the whole endeavor. So that's something new that we're really excited about and that we're doing.
The thing that really just hits home for me with that is all of us have a responsibility to help each other out during COVID. All of us have a responsibility to shop local, to do those kinds of things.
Yep.
But as business owners, we also have a responsibility to help other businesses, to figure out what we can do in the short term, and to also network with them, to understand who each other is. And so that approach is just so rewarding in a couple of ways. One, in the sense of making people feel like they're not destitute. There is another chance. We all know, throw putty on the wall and sometimes it sticks. So will this video make the end for my business? Maybe it will, maybe it won't, but I'm going to try it. It's something new in my toolkit. I can try that. The fact that you're looking at the gratitude videos and the holiday videos, we're all looking at how are we getting things out differently now, because we're not traveling. We're not looking at having those company parties. I mean, I keep getting these fall cancellations and virtual meetings. And I went to a virtual cocktail party the other day, which was interesting. They did their best to move us around room to room. So just like you were wandering from table to table.
Yeah, that's great.
It's not quite the same. And you have to provide your own cocktails.
Bring your own drinks, right?
Get a free drink there. But, we're trying. We're trying to figure out how do we live this way now? Because we're seeing numbers going back up nationwide. And we have people that just have concerns. So the fact that you all are looking at how to be a responsible company and to help others out is amazing to me, and really just is to be commended, because it's something we have to do. I love the fact that people can look at customizing with you still if they want to.
And this is not just for other for-profits. We've done this for nonprofits. We've done this for large companies. We've done this for small companies. We're casting a wide net to help people out, and also so they know it's hard to find good work. It's hard to find good people. And so they then have a connection, when the timing's right, and they need a video to help grow their business.
Well, and as you know, one of the reasons we do affiliate projects with our company is we get calls a lot of times. And it would be really easy to say, oh yeah, here's 3 companies, go look at them. When it doesn't work out, we're the bad guy. Because we tell them to go to company C. Well, no, they chose the cheapest company of the 3. Yeah. So for me, it's important that we know who we work with, that we know their product, that we've experienced their product, and then we can confidently say to someone, look, if this is what you want to do, talk to this person. And if you don't think you can afford them, we still encourage you to talk to them. We'll help you talk to them and just see. Maybe there is an option, maybe there isn't. But we like to make that connectivity. For our listeners, that's something that all of you need to be doing as well. As you find a product and you love it, when someone asks you, be honest with them. Tell them if you've used the product, if you haven't used it, what you've heard. That's really how we built this network. And that's really how we support each other. But then when push comes to shove and we really need good products and we're ready to buy, we're not wasting time trying to find somebody. We know who we're going to go to.
And let me add on to that. It's one of the biggest compliments we've gotten. I can't tell you how many emails I've gotten. Hey, John, I work with you at this company. I'm now at that company. Can you help us? We have needs. I mean, it doesn't happen every day, but it happens often. And that is like such a compliment that we stayed in that person's Rolodex. We made a video for that business, but we had a connection with that person. And we were first call when they went to another company. And they don't want to, like you said, they don't want to bring on a bad vendor. They want to show the right foot forward, whatever. But so that's one of the biggest compliments we get. We have a lot of people coming to new companies and calling us back up.
Retention is key for all of us, but sleeping at night also. I've had experience over the years where you do this kind of projects and you quickly start to feel it falling apart. I've turned the script in, nobody's responded. I sent edits, they didn't pay attention to them. We asked them not to have this background, and there it is. When the project comes back or the first review comes back, who wants to see it? The person in charge. And you're thinking, great, everything in here is wrong. I told them not to do any of this, and now I have to explain, is it me? Is it who we hired? When you have good project people, you turn it over and you know what you're going to get is going to be great. There's a few tweaks, there always are, but it's minimal. It's minimal. You can release the project and go work on something else and come back when it's ready. The comfort of doing that is worth the price. I always tell people that be careful when you say, we want to save money, we're going to go cheaper. because you get what you pay for.
It's a great point. So on every project, there's a senior production manager, and they're the gatekeeper. We're working with our team, and if our team throws something across the fence that's not right, it's our production manager before it even touches a client's desk. Whoa, no. Let's do these. Let's look at V2, and then the client sees it as the first version. So that, I mean, we are. That, I think that's really where some of the magic happens is our production process. And then also the way we've structured, we won't start on a storyboard until you approve the script. So, and by the way, when we're talking to our clients, it's like, please, whoever needs to approve this, get them visibility on this. We don't want to, everyone in the room loves it, and we get to a final version, and then the head honcho thinks it's terrible in the wrong direction. So we've set up a lot of processes to try to minimize that. And of course, it's an organic development. It's never existed. We're bringing it to life. So there will be tweaks. There will be subjective things. But we try to have a really good process to minimize kind of what you talked about of just completely missing the mark.
I think, again, for all of you that are doing startups or small businesses, these are key things to keep in mind, whatever your service model is. More eyeballs, more hands on deck at the beginning is less pain at the end. And when you have good people and you're catching those things before your client ever sees them, that's a win-win for you and for the client, because pretty soon the client gets bored with the project. They're tired of you sending version 13. They don't want to go through all of that, because what they start to think then, even though it's not exactly true, but their mindset is, I could have just done this myself.
Exactly. I'm doing all the work. I'm telling them, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And so you want them to have that experience of, what's the big picture? What am I wanting this end result to be? And then these people are going to guide me to get there. So,
you know what I tell my clients? We're the conductor of the train. We're going to push everything forward. We're going to do the heavy lifting. I would look to you as reviewers, approvers, and subject matter experts. You guys are living it. We'll play our role. You play your role. But our best videos, it's a partnership. Someone doesn't pay us a down payment and we come back, here's your final video. It doesn't work like that. So while we're doing the heavy lifting, our clients are reviewing and approving. And of course, on the front end, giving us project brief information all the way along. We ensure the videos hits their goal, stays on budget. They spend 15 minutes to look at a script. This is wrong. This is great. And we're on to the next, and they're back to their job. Because we know that video is just one part of their day, and it's what we do every day.
Folks, that is key, that you always keep your client in mind in terms of when you're doing creative things, because sometimes you have to mill out. They have an idea. They'll tell you they don't. But as soon as they see something, they'll say, that's not really what I was thinking. So it's in there. Sometimes you got to work a little harder to get it out. But keeping with that client and letting them recognize how the process is going to go is it's invaluable, especially working on a video project, because for most people, that's not something they do every day.
Correct.
You can say, well, it's a Word document. I've always worked on Word documents. I know how to do that. Maybe it's a different software, but I still know how to type up a document. Doesn't work that way in video. You need that expertise, but you also need that someone to say to you, probably not the best idea to do this one thing or use this one backdrop. That's where you pay the experts, and that's where you get a quality product that comes out of here. John, I'm going to ask you one last question today, which we ask all of our guests, which is, what's your technology prediction for the future?
So I appreciate that one, and I've been thinking about that one. I could go a couple different places, but I really believe in this one. I'm a believer in solar technology, but I don't think we are where we need to be. And I'm not a solar expert by any means. Solar technology needs to get more efficient so you can get more out of the sun. But I see a vision where, especially in California, but I think it really applies to any state of the nation. Every home, every apartment building, every commercial building has big old solar panels that are incredibly efficient. They are powering 100% of all of their needs, and then powering the cars, or whatever device that needs to get plugged in through a battery, and they're powering it. So you are off the grid. We are completely green, and hopefully the cars are good on the environment too. But I think that's the big opportunity. Yes, solar panels have been around for a while, but they're not as efficient. It needs to be a financial decision where it's foolish to not do that, as opposed to pay PG&E for all your stuff. We're not there. I hope we get there in my lifetime, because it's kind of crazy. We are still putting gasoline into our cars, and the technology is there. And I see a self-contained home, business, apartment complex where we can kind of really turn around where we are in terms of climate change and stuff.
I think you're right on point with that, because for me, I always think about the actual technology we use. You're running your home on a smart system, and you're running, COVID was a good example. You're running 6 computers at once in your house because all your kids are going to school and your spouse is working. And here we are all plugged in. I live in Arizona, and today is the 144th day we've been over 100 degrees. So they're saying we're going to break a record today. Woohoo. The problem with that is, it's obviously, we keep breaking records every year, so it's not getting better. But we're paying more to run the air conditioner, to run the fans, to have all these things running in your house. And now everything you own plugs in and runs off your Bluetooth and your Wi-Fi. And so getting solar, even to move us into artificial intelligence in the terms of products that are going to use it, but we still are running around the airport trying to find a plug.
Yeah, right.
We're watching people. It's like, are they going to unplug soon so I can have that plug? We've got to get to a point where things are self-reliant. And so I think you're absolutely right. We can't do all of the fundamental things like that when we don't even have our houses set up on it yet.
Yep. But the key is it has to be financial. I mean, I think that's really where you get less money to pay, whether you own the solar panels, where you rent them. It has to be cheaper and not over 30 years. It has to be one of those things like it's a no-brainer. And I think when we get there, when you can get more out of your solar panel, maybe pump it back out to the grid to do whatever, sell it back. I don't know. For those that don't have, I don't know. But it's all about how do you incentivize something financially related? And I think, to me, that's the right technology.
I absolutely agree. And I think for our listeners, financially viable goes across the board. Everything that you do, everything that you look at, be mindful. What are you buying into? What are you using for your business? What are you investing in? All of these things are going to come to terms as we keep moving forward. And COVID has taught us that we're now going to start living a different way. And as we live a different way, it's going to impact how we use things, the products that are out there, and it's going to impact the long-term viability of things that we're using. So I think that's key. And I always love that question because everybody has a different idea, from the tiniest widget to something as broad as here's how we manage both our personal and our professional lives with solar. That's really what it is. It's about our world. Once again, I want to remind everybody that Levitate has 3 really great opportunities with their free branded videos, their personalized videos, and their remote filming. So I encourage all of you to visit them at levitatevideo.com. That will get you started. John, I so appreciate you being on the podcast today. This has been really exciting to hear all the things that all of you are working on, the lessons that you've shared with everybody about pivoting and really taking your skill set and moving up through the channel and creating just this phenomenal company that has a great team and works together. For everyone, we thank you for joining us today, and we hope that you get something out of this. As always, you can find us on all of the mainstay areas: Apple, Spotify, Amazon, Stitcher, and Acast. We hope you enjoyed this episode of EdTech Speaks and can make use of it. We look forward to having you join us again. And until next time, keep learning.
Thank you for listening to EdTech Speaks with EdTech strategist Cher Downing. To learn more about the services Downing EdTech and its staff can provide you, find us at www.downingedtech.com. If you enjoyed today's podcast, be sure to share it. We'd also like to hear from you regarding any suggestions for topics or guests and the value you received from our show. Check back for new podcasts with featured guests at www.downingedtech.com/podcast.